Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week we're going to be talking about Blade, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Steven.
I
And
forgot
I'm
that
second,
was a
Brendan.
thing.
Oh boy, we came in all over the place. Yeah, so we have two Brandons on the show today. We've got a full house, actually. We've got 5 people. How is everyone doing? How are you doing today? Better Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I got out and enjoyed some sun.
It is a shockingly beautiful day today. It is really about as nice as it gets. How are you doing today, other Brandon? God, that felt like me being an asshole.
I feel really mean. Did it feel really mean, Fred?
It did feel really mean.
I was waiting for it to happen because I knew you weren't going to feel good about saying it.
Yeah.
Because, as I will always say, Fred is the nicest of us. Yeah, it's good. I feel I was outside a good bit, went and hung out with some friend, ran some errands, so got some stuff accomplished.
Yeah, it really is a perfect day for doing stuff outside. Steven, how are you doing today?
Oh, suffering in South Carolina heat.
Yeah, is it hot there? Like, how hot is it out?
82 with about 90% humidity right now.
Oh my god. That sounds miserable.
It is.
It
is.
How about you, Brad? How have you been?
Great. I barely went outside today.
Brad and I were both. We had a long day yesterday. Speaking of which, myself and I can't keep calling him Better Brandon. It feels like I'm being an asshole. Myself and Better Brandon, participated in a tournament yesterday. And then Brad and I also had Vampire that night, so we spent the entire day at the game store playing games. So it was a very long day for both of us. Well, before we get into that, let's discuss the events that are coming up in the near future. So we are done with events in March that I know of. There could be some sneaking in that I'm not aware of, but the next event on my radar is on April the 4th at Round Table Games in Dublin, Ohio. I believe that this is the shop that has a shop cat. So go and go and pet that cat for me, please. That's what I'll say. Then coming up on April the 11th, that is going to be a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. That is our local game store here in Charleston, and it is, again, likely to be a pretty small event, but that is fine. We are always happy to see other people show up, so please do show up. And then on...
Fred, just a real quick thing. There's a tournament at Fabricators Forge on March 28th.
Oh, okay. Okay, well... on March, that's all right. March 28th, there's a tournament at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This will be run by Bryce, in all likelihood, and it is a great space. Everyone who is nearby should participate. Fabricators Forge games or tournaments are usually very good events. All right, and then on April the 25th is the finals for the Appalachian Cup for the 2025-2026 season. At this point, all 16 people participating have been chosen from points scored during the entirety of the event. I myself am in that group. So is Steven, so is Brad.
So is Brandon.
So is Brandon. Congratulations, Brandon.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Well, I look forward to participating. That'll be a good event. And all right, that's it for the events that are coming up in the near future. I think, do we have any news from AMG? I doubt we do.
No.
We're waiting
Adepticon
for their...
starts in a couple days. I don't know when their keynote thing is. I don't think I looked today. I could not find a day and time for it. So hopefully they give us that information very soon.
Yeah. So likely on our next episode, hopefully, we will have a lot of new news to discuss. We may be discussing a new character. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we find out about it. And then, I guess until then, let's talk about games that we've played recently, specifically the tournament. So, this is our local tournament. It's usually pretty sparsely attended. We had 5 people show up for the tournament. Brad heroically sat this one out because otherwise we were going to be bouncing a bye around. And then we did a round robin so that the 4 people who played, they all played everyone. Everyone played everyone. I do like doing that. That's a pretty good way of turning a 4-person event into a full day of gaming, even though it's only 4 people. So a round robin is a good fix. I guess I'm going to throw it over to Brad to talk us through this because Brad was the TO. So Brad, why don't you talk us through this tournament?
Okay, so like Fred said, 5 people showed up, but I sat out. And we did the 3 rounds, the round robin. And let's go with Fred. Fred, how was your first game? Who did you play?
Oh, well, so here's the thing. My first game is also going to be the other person who's on the podcast right now. So myself, I played Better Brandon in in the first round.
So tag team it. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. We played Inhumans Deploy and Wedding Party at 20 threat. My team consisted of Maximus the Mad, King Black Bolt, Medusa, Gorgon, and Baron Zemo. Brandon, what was your team?
I'm pretty sure I ran. I was playing Shield, so I ran Namor and used his leadership card with Spider Woman, Hulkbuster, Rescue, and Black Widow. I believe was the roster.
That sounds correct. That sounds right. Yeah. So, how did this game? All right. This is on Wedding Party, so this was inevitably going to break up into 2 fights. And then Skrulls... Inhumans Deploy, which is just 4 beam-causing extracts spread across the middle. And I don't think either one of us used the attack that you get from that once in this game. I don't think we used it once.
No, yeah, it probably would have been good for like Widow to use because it's better than most of her other attacks, but she never really got a chance to beam anybody.
Right. I think I took her out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
This game played out with my King Black Bolt and... Oh, boy. It was King Black Bolt and Maximus on my right.
With Gorgon.
And Gorgon. Okay, yeah, you're right. And then I had Medusa and Baron Zemo on my left. And you had on my right Hulkbuster and Black Widow. And on my left, you had Rescue, Namor, and who was the 5th one?
Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman. That's right. This game, boy, can I just say, I hate Rescue so much. She is so good. Rescue is outstanding, and she was a huge problem for me this entire game. She was healing everyone around her. She was moving people into positions that were more advantageous for my opponent. She is shockingly tanky because she does damage reduction and she can add 2 dice to her defense pool. She's really good. Rescue is really good. Brandon, what is your takeaway from this game?
Yeah, Rescue was really an all-star all day, especially in Shield with Namor's leadership and his reroll aura. So not only are you attacking her with 2 bonus defense dice when she throws that up, she can reroll 2 dice and she can reroll skulls because that's the leadership from Namor. So yeah, it was just a little like 2 pods of just ticks digging in, and you just couldn't crack through much of it because of all the rerolls and all the healing. So Rescue was definitely an all-star.
Yeah, yeah. So I fall behind, and we're playing on Inhumans Deploy, so I can't use Terragenesis. I end up. I beat the. I think at one point I beat the crap out of Hulkbuster on the right, and essentially take that side. But you were ahead on scenario points, and you moved over onto my left side, and you were just going to wait me out because you were going to win. You had more extracts on that side, and you were ahead. So you, at one point, just decided to turtle up, and you moved Hulkbuster over there and healed him with a patch up and then with rescue, and suddenly all the work that I had done is gone, and I stand no chance at winning.
Yeah, Hulkbuster held down that side with Black Bolt, Maximus, and Gorgon. You got him down to 2 hit points left before he popped out little Tony Stark, and I ran away like a coward with hit and run. And with patch up and rescue, I got him healed back to where he only had 2 damage on him, so he's back to like 11 hit points. And
Yeah, it was a real heartbreaker. But yeah, I lose. This game goes in your favor, 16-10.
yep, it was a good game.
It was a good game.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
great.
and that's
Awesome.
how our first round went.
Yeah. The other game was Memphis, recently on the show, and JP, who's been on the show before. JP's playing Avengers, and the big thing with his list is he's playing Gladiator with multiple bodyguards. And then Memphis is playing X-Force for this tournament. At the end of the game, Memphis had a very healthy respect for Gladiator, who wrecked his whole team. Killed Cable super quick. And JP won that game. All right. Round 2. I'll start with Fred again.
Okay. Well, in round 2, I got paired up against Memphis, and so I'm playing Inhumans, and we draw the Crisis Skrulls and Mayor Fisk, and we again choose to play at 20 threat, and so I play the exact same list. I'm playing King Blackbolt. I'm playing Maximus the Mad, Gorgon, Medusa, and Baron Zemo. And I want to do a quick talk about the little knot that I create with Medusa and Baron Zemo. Medusa, with as much dice fixing as I have, is very likely to be able to, at least once in her activation, trigger her wild crit frenzy on her builder attack and get a free attack. And that is just outstanding. It's a great way to generate a lot of power. It's a great way to affect the battlefield because she can push people. It is a really good effect. And I find that sticking Baron Zemo next to her makes that all the more likely, makes her all the more effective. This didn't happen during this game, but in a game I played recently, Medusa was able to... she had 6 power on her. So she moved herself, and she was close to 2 other Inhumans. She moved herself within range 1 of one of them. Then she moved another Inhuman within range 1 of her onto the point, and then the original Inhuman onto the point as well, using Royal Decree. And then she made 4 attacks in that round. It was the most she has ever done. It was an outstanding activation, and I very much... It made me really love... I just about said mozzarella again. It made me really love Medusa so much. So, I'm playing her more and more frequently, and she does well in this game against Memphis. This is another one of the ones where it's 2 points in near the middle, because it's Mayor Fisk. So I split off pretty similarly to my last game, where it's Gorgon kind of in the middle actually this time, then Maximus the Mad and King Blackbolt on my right, and Medusa and Baron Zemo on my left. And so how this plays out is we start our fights. Memphis is playing Weapon X with Cable at 20 threat. He's playing Bishop, Cable, and a bunch of other models. Who else did he have? He had Psylocke, I believe. And he had at least 7 more points of models that I can't think of. But this ended up being
Colossus
a real
and Domino.
It was neither of those.
Oh, okay.
It was not either one of what you just said.
Just guessing.
Yeah, I can't remember what they were, to be perfectly honest. The reason being is that I was doing quite well this game. I got ahead on points, and near the end, I think at the end of round 4, I am sitting at 14 points, and he's at something like 12 or 11. And Bishop is sitting there with a scroll and with 2 health remaining. I have Maximus the Mad, and I want to do a little bit of damage to him before I try to Terrigenesis him. So I attack him. I do no damage on my first attack, and I'm thinking to myself, if I attack him a second time, I will just do 2 damage to him, and I will kill him, and I'll lose this shot at Terrigenesising and winning the game right now. So what I do is I attempt to do a Terrigenesis, and I completely whiff. I roll like skull, blank, and I do no damage. I whiff my Terrigenesis, and then I make another attack, and I think I do 1 damage and leave Bishop alive with a ton of power. Bishop is Memphis is turning into a better player. He's still I think he's still a little shaky on who to activate sometimes, but he's getting better at this game. And we always talk about him that he is the dice wizard, and he rolled so many wilds with Bishop's defense. It was disgusting. I couldn't get anything through because he kept rolling wilds, kept getting an extra blank out on one of my dice, and getting extra power from it. That ability of his is way stronger than it seems, and it's better than a pierce, that reverse pierce, because it can happen more than once. It can if he rolls 2 or 3 wilds, then that's 2 or 3 blanked out dice, and he was rolling 2 or 3 wilds frequently. So I couldn't do anything to Bishop. Bishop ended up doing his spender twice and KOing Maximus the Mad and dazing King Blackbolt and scoring all the secures and most of the objectives in the last round, and he ends up winning this game 18-16. And yeah, it was a heartbreaker. It was a real heartbreaker because I was just a Terrigenesis away from winning, and I failed. Oh well. I lose this game. It was a good game. Memphis put up a very strong fight and pulled out a victory. Brandon, or I'm gonna throw it over to Brad. That's it for my second round.
Fine, Fred. You're the host of the show. Brandon, how did your game go against JP?
So I rode up with JP. We've been working on a list together to try and find a home for Gladiator. I've seen a lot of people try to use Gladiator, and he just kind of comes up short. So I was trying to find a way to keep those confidence tokens on him, and the obvious solution is to just have bodyguards. So that's the list that JP brought. It's Cap 1 Avengers with Gladiator, and then you just splash in all these bodyguards. You got Luke Cage, who's also got a bodyguard card with Heroes for Hire. You got Colossus in there. Cap 1 himself is a bodyguard. Okoye is your 2. You've just got so many bodyguards, so once you get Gladiator online, he's just zooting around the board with 11 dice attacks into everybody. And I knew it was a very mean list, and I didn't know what I could do against it. But unfortunately for JP, his dice went like ice cold against me. Because I only have like one bodyguard card, and after that, like he decides where damage goes into me, and I never get to decide where damage goes into him. Like if I attack Gladiator, it always goes into Luke Cage or goes into Captain America. The points we played, I tried to play low points because I got to choose the threat to try and keep as many bodyguards off the table as possible. So we got Mayor Fisk and Inhumans deploy weapons. So I chose 16 threat. I brought Spider-Woman, Rescue, Namor, and Invincible Iron Man. And he brought Gladiator, Cap 1, Luke Cage, and Rescue as well. So it was a double Rescue match. Even though my Rescue threw out a lot of healing, like I was just having to keep up with what he could put down. Whereas when I would attack him, he gets to choose where the damage goes. So like he could like spread it around evenly so that Rescue could manage it easier instead of somebody getting spiked out and her not being able to respond to it. So fortunately for me and unfortunately for him, his dice whiffed a lot with Gladiator when he was attacking, and he wasn't able to build a lot of confidence tokens early on. So I tried to use that to my advantage and just get a big early lead, and then just stay away from him because once Gladiator did get online, like his spender, he's like picking people up and throwing them, and Dylan, like he dazed Namor in one throw, he dazed Spider-Woman, like he's a monster once he gets online. But fortunately, I had enough of a point lead that I was able to just back away from him and take the win on that list. But yeah, I think that Gladiator's got a good home there. I think it's worth looking into if anybody's wanting to get some use out of Gladiator, which most of us have if we bought the Crisis card pack. It should be a fun list to try out for everybody.
Awesome. So, heading into the third round, everyone plays the person they haven't played before. So, Fred, you got to play JP. How'd it go?
Yes. Before I talk about how this game went, I do want to call out. One of the gentlemen I played the Akron Brew Brawl at the Akron Brew Brawl was named Kurt, and we had a conversation after the event, and he sent me some high quality tokens that are Inhuman specific, including a weakness token for Karnak, and some secure tokens that have the wedge cut out for when that new wedge-based secure system becomes a legal crisis. And they were very cool. They are very neat. I used them during this event, and I loved using them. They were very cool. And the reason I bring that up is I'm playing Karnak in this game, and I got to use the dedicated weakness token a couple times. It was fun to use. So, we are playing on Scrolls and Macron crystals, and we are playing at 20 threat, which is the only threat I played during this entire event. I brought a different roster this time, or a different list of guys. I brought Maximus the Mad, I brought Medusa, and then I brought my entire crew of 3 threat models. Oh, no, that can't be true. I brought 4 3 threats. So Maximus the Mad, Medusa, Gorgon, Karnak, Crystal, and Baron Zemo. And this game is exactly what Brandon was saying. Like, Gladiator. JP's list was Gladiator, She-Hulk, Okoye, Captain America, and another 2-threat.
It was
Who-
Probably
Black
Widow
Widow.
to keep her
I
affiliated.
believe
yeah.
it was Widow. I think it was Widow. And the in round 1, I go and grab one of the scrolls with Zemo, and it was one of the scrolls on the side, and I was trying to be as cagey as I could be with him. But of course, I do not roll a crit or a wild in my roll when I'm seeing if I get pushed. So Zemo gets pushed straight towards Gladiator, and then Gladiator activates. Because it's Captain America's one's leadership, he charges, and then he does a Praetorian punch into Baron Zemo, and leaves him on 1 hit point. He gains 2 confidence tokens from that, and then he does another Praetorian punch into Zemo, and does that last damage. He comes out of round 1 with 3 confidence tokens, way in his backfield, with only Baron Zemo next to him.
Fred,
And with priority.
That is a terrible way for you to start this game.
Oh yeah. You're telling me, bud. And then at the top of round 2, he punches Zemo again, and just straight up, like he just punches him once and turns him into a red smear on the battlefield. And is sitting on something. He's sitting on at least 4 confidence tokens at this point, and I have no one nearby to deal with him, to do any damage to him. So I end up throwing Gorgon up towards him to try and like do something. And then on the other side, Karnak goes in on Captain America, and Karnak is able to actually do quite a good amount of work on Captain America. It's kind of a weirdly good place for Karnak. Captain America, I want to get real close so that I count blanks, and if I am able to get a weakness token on Captain America, I'm rolling 6 dice on my defense and counting blanks, and then I can punch for 8 dice on my builder, and it turns into a situation where Karnak can just hang and bang with Captain America and stand toe-to-toe with him. What was that, Brad?
I said, hey. He hanging and banging with Captain America.
With old Steve Rogers. And he's right there. Things are going okay for me. But with Gladiator, things are going very bad for me. I put Medusa and Gorgon into Gladiator, and Medusa tries to attack him a couple times, and the attacks keep getting shunted off to Okoye or She-Hulk or on to Steve Rogers. That happened at one point. And I cannot get these gosh darn confidence tokens off of Gladiator. Gladiator is sitting in round 3 of this game. Gladiator is sitting on 5 confidence tokens, and he's just erasing my team piece by piece. He just shows up next to somebody and they die because there's no way for me to stop him, and I can't. This is like what fighting Omni-Man is like. He just shows up next to you and you're dead. And I mean, like, if he gets rolling, I don't know how to stop him. This list is very effective if he's able to get rolling. And this game started off with him getting rolling on me. I would have been better off just letting him get a points advantage on me and avoiding all of the scrolls, I think. Or getting, like, the ones that I can safely get. I just... I don't know what my solution is to Gladiator. Because he got going, and he got going hard, and he rolled right over me. The weird thing is that I do pretty well this game otherwise. Like, I kill the rest of his team. I KO She-Hulk in this game. And not, like, pretty easily. I think I KO Black Widow, and I did a lot of damage. I know that I flipped Captain America and Okoye, but I didn't do much damage at all to Gladiator. This game will end 17-15 in JP's favor, and it is a great game. There is a lot of back and forth, but I just cannot deal with Gladiator this entire game. So I go 0-3 this tournament. I did not do well, so oh well, that'll happen sometimes.
Yep, it sure will. And I was there just a couple weeks ago, Fred. So next is Brandon. Brandon played Memphis. How'd that go?
Yeah, we played 17 threat. It was Alien Ship and Infinity Formula, so it's definitely going to be 17 threat. He had a really solid team. He played Cable, Domino, Deadpool, Gambit, and Baron Zemo. And we're split up on two flanks. My team was Namor, Miles Morales, Rescue, Invincible Iron Man, and Black Widow 1. So he, I do believe that he is indeed a dice wizard because, like I know, he just was decimating dice all day long. Like he would make one attack with Gambit and get like 3 or 4 wilds, and it was just bonkers. I was able to get a really early lead on him as well. I've got a lot of extract steals in my list with Namor and Miles and Spider-Woman, all these people who can get the extracts on my side. So pretty much that's what I had to do is just steal extracts from him and abandon a flank because Cable is a monster. Domino with her probability control and being able to reroll with the Cable leadership. If you flip Deadpool, he turns into a little dance party machine. Zemo with his own reroll and then the leadership reroll. Like he had a lot of really good stuff on the board. And actually, this one came down to, I think we went to 4 or 5 turns, and he almost tables me. He, on the very last turn of the game, he had dazed Invincible Iron Man, and I have Rescue with only like 2 hit points remaining before she gets dazed. And he had already knocked out Namor, Miles Morales, and Black Widow. He still has on the board Cable, Domino with no damage at all on her. Gambit and Deadpool, but fortunately they had been tied up on a flank. Cable, Deadpool, and Domino had been tied up on a flank by Namor and Miles Morales for like 2 or 3 turns before they went out of the game, and that was long enough to keep them off of the flank that I had brought all my secures over to, or all my extracts over to, and yeah, if it had gone one more turn, he just wins by tabling me. But fortunately, Rescue was able to make a couple moves at the end of the game and pick up an extract and be on a secure, and I win 17-12. But it was skin of my teeth win for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was your final record, Brandon?
3-0, and I win the tournament.
You sure do.
Congratulations, Brandon. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. That is it for our tournament. Join us next time. For real, come to our tournaments.
Yeah, please come to our tournaments. They're fun. We have a good time. But even if there's only 4 people, we will make it a 3-rounder. Brandon, other Brandon, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
I played a game against Memphis, and it was 20-7 at the end of turn 3.
You were playing Kingpin, correct?
Yeah, we were playing Wedding Party, not spiders, cubes. Wedding Party cubes.
Okay.
Yeah, I scored 7 points the first 2 rounds, and then scored 6 in the final round.
This is for Memphis to learn more about Kingpin. Memphis played against Tom in the Akron Brew Brawl, and he had a very rough learning experience when it comes to Kingpin, and he had requested that Brandon play him more because he needs to learn more how to play against Kingpin. And so Brandon kicked his teeth in with Kingpin.
I obliged.
Yep.
He still struggled with some stuff. He was still really bad. Like, he knew that my characters counted for 2 on secures and just put one of his characters on each objective. Like, I think he thought he could kill me faster than I could score points, and he couldn't get near half my characters with extracts. So it's just, I told him before the game, I said, if you have any questions, stop, ask, whatever, and he just didn't ask any questions, and then I proceeded to just run the score up.
Well, in Memphis's defense, this is a thing that everyone has to go through with their first or second time playing against Kingpin, which is learning that you can't just count on yourself to be able to outkill Kingpin, because he will just tough it out and survive long enough to win the game on round 3.
Yeah, and we had talked about all according to plan, and then he had an end of a turn where I dropped 2 cubes because of cleanup. And he put them both right beside his character, so then I was able to, all according to plan, just pick them both up and then double move away.
Yeah. Again, a learning experience. Like, playing against Kingpin means that you have to keep an eye on the score and where every objective is. You have to, be able to count out where every objective is and find out exactly how you think your Kingpin opponent is going to move. It's real tough.
And it's
you
not
have to be on the ball.
It's not so much about scoring points yourself in the early game. It's more keeping them from scoring points so that you have time to catch up long game.
Yeah. You mostly want to keep them from scoring, which is a different way to look at things. It's a different way to play the game. Okay, well, Brad, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
I played 3 games. I played a game against Memphis, who killed most of my characters and won because of that, because he rolls good dice. I played a teaching game, so we don't have to get into that. And then I played a game against Michael, who's been slowly trying to learn Web Warriors because he really likes placement type things, where if you are good at placing your models, you have an advantage. So he really likes the Spider-Verse leadership. So he's playing just that. In fact, he played Miles in the game against me and did not use Miles' leadership.
It's such a he and I had a conversation about this. Oh, he and I also played a game, and I told him that I felt like he was leaving money on the table by not playing Miles' leadership, but he likes using that new leadership card.
Yeah.
A lot, and he is good with it. He knows how to place his models so that they're always exactly where they need to be next round. And that is what he is doing best with Web Warriors there.
Yeah, and we played Guardians and Inhuman Weapons. Another game where nobody used the Inhuman Weapons beam the entire game. And I was playing the X-Men list I would have played at the tournament. This game I ended up playing Cyclops, Emma Frost, Gambit, Baron Zemo, and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi has been letting me down with this list so far, except in this game where he was awesome. Even though in the first round of the game, Shang-Chi grabs an extract. And one of the spiders walks up and Michael's like, I would like a power, and hopefully I can also push you. So I'm just going to do a what's the web attack that pushes?
Impact webbing?
Impact webbing you. Gets 4 damage through on Shang-Chi
Oh boy.
and pushes him.
I told Brad when he first put Shang-Chi in this list that he's gonna realize that Shang-Chi is more fragile than he recognized whenever he played against him.
So
Am I correct, Brad?
that hurt. Shang-Chi does not flip the entire game.
Okay.
At one point, he gets patched up, I think, by Cyclops, and doesn't take a single damage the rest of the game. Or takes 1, I think, maybe. Which was really good. That first initial attack was bad. This is a very maneuver-heavy game. Like, a lot of movement around. So Shang-Chi and Cyclops moving around a lot on one side, with Emma Frost guarding my home point. And then on the other side, and they were fighting Baron Zemo, Ghost Spider's on the other side. Baron Zemo, Miles, Spectacular, and Black Cat were all over there. On the other side, I have... Oh, I didn't play Baron Zemo. I played Magic. He played Baron Zemo. I played Magic. I played Baron Zemo against Memphis on Thursday. Anyway, I had Magic and Gambit on the other side to fight against his Ghost Spider and Spider-Man Noir. That's who was on the other side. He's... Every time he's... Not every time, but like 50% of his attacks are doing like 3+ damage. When he doesn't actually care about that at all. Emma Frost has a point in the game where she can be her best self and use her card to move herself medium, and then she can attack Ghost Spider, who's sitting like across the board, like widthwise across the board. If I get the trigger, I can move her off. If I get a couple damage, I can also do the cool thing where the superpower that does damage and moves her again. And I still have an action to move over there and try to flip it. I do no damage. I get no trigger. I just have to move and try to flip it and fail. And then, okay, Emma Frost is over there now. On the next turn, she has another chance to help me secure the game. All she has to do is do either 1 damage or hit her trigger on her attack because she's been pulled off the point. And then I can move Ghost Spider off the point and get on the point and have a pretty good chance of flipping it. She does neither of those things, and I have to walk her and just try to hope I get 2 successes and get 0. Done.
Jeez.
So at the end, I need 2 points to win, and if I get those 2 points, there aren't enough points on the board for Michael to even tie me. So I have Shang-Chi on my side on a point with a extract. I feel pretty good about at least those 2 points. And I have, on that same flank, I have the other one flipped too. Well, here comes Miles. You know, he does the web swing, he moves, he Venom blasts, knocks that off of Shang-Chi, does not have any power to pick it up. So he just drops it there. I can risk going with Cyclops, push Baron Zemo, his only model, away, and maybe even take out Black Cat holding a point and move off of that and then move again and pick up the point, but I only have 2 power. So if I hit and run, I have to do damage to to a model, and I might not even get 2 tries. So I just double move and pick up the point, hoping that's enough. Well, Baron Zemo moves. He flips the point that's near his deployment. Okay, that's fine. That one was easy. Then he long moves over to the one that a healthy Shang-Chi is sitting on. So he needs 2 successes. He flips this, he wins the game. If he doesn't flip it, I win the game. He rolls 3 successes and Michael wins the game.
Of course.
So
That's a pay to flip, man.
It did come down to him getting an unlikely roll, because it's not likely to get 2+ successes on 3 dice with no rerolls.
Yeah,
That's fine.
The pay to flips can be so frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, he did fail 2 uncontested ones earlier in the game, so
Okay, yeah. So he was owed a really good roll.
yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'm sorry to hear you lost. I do want to Hey, Steven, do you have any games that you want to talk about before we move on?
Oh, not this week, Fred.
Not this week?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
well, I think that it is time for us to move on to the person that we are here to cover today. That person's name is Blade, and I have made the mistake that I haven't made for a while, where I did not have him pulled up when I started talking this sentence. All right, we are doing Blade, otherwise known as Eric Brooks. His defenses are 4 physical, 3 energy, and 4 mystic. He has 6 stamina on both sides of his card. He is a 4 threat model. Size 2, he is a medium move on a small base, and he is affiliated with the Avengers, the Defenders, and of course, the Midnight Suns. I'm going to say, Brad, why don't you do the first 2 of his attacks?
Okay, before I do, Fred, a little trivia here from the comic books. Do you know who Blade's brother is?
Brooks. Eric Brooks. No. No idea.
His brother is Garth. His first attack is a Mystic Attack
wait,
Katana. Rage 2, 5
Come
dice,
on.
cost 0.
Come on.
Gain power for the damage dealt. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains a bleed special condition and has a wild pierce. His second attack is physical throwing glaives. Rage 4, 4 dice, cost 0. Gain a power. Hit pursuit before damage. Advance towards the target character short. And wild bleed after the attack is resolved.
That second attack is a Chris gainer? Okay, that sucked. I'm sorry. I was trying to come up with something. All right, well, okay. Brandon, better Brandon, why don't you do the last attack and his leadership?
His spender is called Knight of the Dampier. It costs 4 power, 7 dice, range 3. If the target character has the bleed special condition, you may reroll any number of attack dice. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains the bleed special condition, and after the attack is resolved, Blade may advance medium. And his leadership is called Bump in the Night, affiliation Midnight Suns. Once per turn, at any time during an allied character's activation, they may spend 1 power. If they do, place that character within range 1 of its current position.
Okay, Steven, why don't you do the next 2 superpowers?
Okay, we have a active superpower called Half-Blood Physiology. It will cost you 1 power. This character immediately performs a shake action. And then we have a reactive, which will cost you 2 power, while this character is defending against a physical or mystic attack. During the modified dice step of the attack, it may use the superpower. This character may reroll any number of its defense dice, including skull results.
And other Brandon, can you finish us off?
Yes, he has vampiric immortality. At the end of its blaze activation, it gains 1 power and removes 1 damage from itself for each other character within 2 that has the bleed special condition.
Okay. Yeah, so that is Bleed. And what are our first thoughts? That is Bleed. Yes, I said that is Bleed. That is Blade. That is what's on his card. What are our first thoughts about this guy? I'm going to start with Brad because I feel like he's the person who has played Blade the least.
You're right. I have played Blade the least, but played against him a lot to the point where I could actually help my new opponent on Thursday with what he did as he played him as just a dude in Defenders. Blade does cool stuff. Like the reroll's good, the built-in healing and power thing is really good, and boy does he hit hard with that spender when they have bleed. He kind of wrecked some of my people in that game. Before he got buffed, before that he did not have pursuit, and I think that was a big deal that he can do some work while getting into the fight. I think that was the biggest thing that helped him out.
On his throwing glaives, like
Yeah.
that are range 4, you can
Yeah.
sometimes it's on a hit trigger too, so
Very likely.
it's likely, yeah.
Very likely. Yeah, I think he is a good model with maybe the best leadership in the game. No, I take that back. Second best leadership in the game.
I'm curious to know what you would consider the second. Oh, you're gonna say Kingpin.
Absolutely.
You're gonna say
yeah.
Kingpin.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I guess that's probably correct, but I do feel like this is one of the best leaderships in the game, without
absolutely.
question. Yeah. Steven, what are your thoughts here on Blade?
Oh, when Blade came out, I tried to run this guy so much, and it was so sad all the time.
Oh, really?
I cannot tell you how many times it was like I was trying to figure things out, and I was trying to be attrition when they didn't have Immortal Hulk. Okay, only had Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, and Moon Knight, and very limited roster. I haven't gone back, so I can't really say one way or another how he performs now.
That was before his buff, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, I was knee deep in Defenders when Doctor Strange didn't have his buff, and Daredevil and Blade here. So out of the cast of characters, the best one at that time was Moon Knight, practically. So, but
what a weird time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immortal Hulk changed the dynamic of his team quite a bit. So, but that bump in the night, I mean, we've seen characters come and go out of his affiliation just because they can exploit it for a grab midline safely. One of those being Bill, another one being Hela, just for 4th ret, obviously. I expect to see a lot of Warriors 3 who generate 2 power or on a large base, so that that economy even becomes less of a cost at 4 and now becomes 3. So,
yeah, you're right.
And I mean, he's a good mystic attacker, but there are other mystic attackers in the game that splash better than he does, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wouldn't splash him.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that you're bringing up a point about Blade, which is that in a way he does have one of the best leaderships in the game, but he is also in a way the weak link of the Midnight Suns roster, in the sense that if you can kill him, then the Midnight Suns switch off. Like, it switches off their game plan quite a bit. And he is not easy to kill because he does have some good defensive tech. He gets to reroll, including skulls, on physical and mystic, but he is weak to energy. And I think maybe critically weak to energy. He just has 3 defense, and that's it. And if he gets taken out, the Midnight Suns are in trouble. And he also likes to play forward because he wants to be able to slash people with his katanas, give them bleed, and then follow up with a Knight of the Dampier. And anyone who is bleeding, he gains power and heals. So he wants to be close to combat. So, there is a problem there with how he's designed.
I think
okay.
I think one of the misses that they had on his update was that he is a vampire, so why doesn't this guy have stealth, So
stealth would definitely help him. I think that it would not be out of character for him to have 7 health on the front. Like, if they bumped up his health by 1 point, that would help a lot, I think. But yeah, that's that. I'm just speculating there. Better Brandon, what do you feel about Blade? What are your thoughts?
So I have played several games with Blade, but not as a Midnight Sun. I splash him into my Dracula list, my Thralls of Dracula list, which a lot of his abilities really aligned with the Dracula leadership. Dracula heals and gains power at range 3 at the end of his activation for everybody that's bleeding. Blade does it at range 2, so they're pretty similar in that respect. But with Dracula's leadership, he doesn't have to rely on a katana attack to get people bleeding. He can just spend 1 power, you're now bleeding, and I can Knight of the Dampier. If he's, for whatever reason, if they pour a lot of resources into him to get him dazed and he's on a lot of power, he could do 2 Knights of the Dampier, re-rolling everything and getting free advances off of those. Like, he's really good in the Dracula list. Obviously, with the leadership, like you guys was talking about, it's one of the best leaderships, and some of the medium and large base characters that are in Midnight Suns really take advantage of that, like Immortal Hulk and
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
Stone. Yeah,
Man Thing. The leadership's amazing. He is splashable, like in Dracula. I don't know if you would necessarily call that a splash. He's an Avenger. I guess you could play him with like First Avenger. His katanas become, pay 1 power to flip one of my dice into a wild, which pierces one of yours. Like, it's pay 1 power to add 2 damage effectively. So I guess he could have play there. I'm sure there's better Avengers with Pierce that could fill that role. But I think he's the best Midnight Sun leader, and he's great in Dracula as well. So he's got a couple homes, I think.
Yep. And I'm gonna throw it over to Other Brandon. Other Brandon, you probably have played the most of Blade, I think, of everyone on the pod. What do you feel about this guy?
There's probably a good chance that I've played more Blade than anybody here. I played him when he first came out, and I've played him pretty much ever since. When he first came out, it didn't take long for people to realize that you had to just go after him, and then once you could get him off, it was a little bit easier to take care of. The affiliation kind of fell apart. The problem now is you can go completely after him. It just doesn't work as well as it used to. There's a lot more threats, especially with the Immortal Hulk and the whole monsters box. Like, all 4 of the monsters in the box are very playable under Midnight Suns. Even like playing Dracula under Blade. When you have like Blade, Dracula, and like Immortal Hulk, and they take out Blade, you've probably won the game regardless if you don't have an affiliation leadership going forward. Because if they're hyper focusing on Blade and have let the other 2 just kind of run wild, and that's kind of where he's at now, where it still hurts if he gets taken out early, so you can
play him a little bit more conservatively, like a range 4 and a range 3 attacks. He basically is immune to anything that's super relevant because of the half-blood physiology and being able to shake anything. Energy is not a very common attack, and being able to modify dice against everything else, including skulls, can keep him alive. Like, it's pretty easy to get away from like the energy attackers on your opponent's side, especially with Bump in the Night and Medium Move. But I mean, like, it's so the leadership's just it makes Frankenstein monster super good. It makes like Black Panther Chosen and Bass like extra good. Like it kind of fixes these characters that outside of it aren't great, and it really kind of buffs them into a world where they feel just so much better. And we're in a world now where you have really good models like in Contu, Immortal Hulk. You have splashes like Dracula. Like, those are the 3 that I play probably the most when I play Midnight Suns now. And the funniest thing is sometimes you just get a random like Black Cat that's in affiliation that you can play, and it's one of those fun scenarios, exactly the same thing, that if they start focusing on Black Cat, they're not focusing on, Blade or Dracula or Mortal Hulk, and then the game just kind of runs itself out. I did an online TTS league where I played Midnight Suns, and that was a big thing that kept happening, is I was playing like Black Cats and Zemos, and I actually at that time was playing Shang-Chi, and it's just funny because it's like as soon as they start focusing on what are perceived as like bigger threats, the game just kind of runs away from them, because it's real easy to get bleed on people with Blade, and then Night of Damphir into a bleeding anything, or the whatever Dracula Spender is, if they're bleeding, you just start eviscerating characters, and it makes you really have to go after and be in a very specific way. But it is like Blade is like a linchpin in the affiliation, and it does, like, when he gets taken out early, but it's a lot harder now to hyper focus on Blade than it was before when the affiliation first came out, because again, like, Immortal Hulk running wild is not something you're going to be able to deal with in a fun way.
And you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. And even Werewolf by Night, the last couple of games I've played, I played Werewolf by Night because I just wanted to play him more, and he might be one of the most mobile characters, like, under this leadership. Like, it just feels like he is just everywhere, being able to move. He has an attack back that can place him. If he gets the wild, he has and then so he has like regular attacks that place him with bump. He can throw himself. Like, you hitting some wilds with him, he just is all over the entire map, and it feels something. I don't know how good it is, because he doesn't always feel like he does enough damage, but it definitely feels really good, and he gives out bleed, so that helps.
Right. And always good to have that everywhere when you're playing with Blade's leadership.
Yeah, and the big thing too. Like, there's a couple characters that have stealth, like the 3s, like Black Cat and Black Panther both having stealth, and being able to like be within 3 and then bump outside of 3 is just one of the best feel goods. Knowing that you've taken that away from your opponent, that they now have to move to attack you, is just so good. Especially with like Black Cat being able to stagger at range 3 and then either small move away and then you can bump. Like, you can get so far away with her if you get an elusive on Troublemaker. Like, being at range 3 and then just being able to move short and then bump, like, you're just forever away at that point.
Right. Yep. His leadership is still, I think it's so useful on so broad set of models. Such a broad set of models.
Yeah, and the bigger the base, like any medium or large base models, it just feels like you're cheating. Like, it just feels like being able with Immortal Hulk, you can use his tactics card and you're on the midline, like not just like close to the midline, like you're in the middle of the board and you have 2 activations left on turn 1. It's just it feels crazy. And then just like being able on turn 1 in the leadership, you're guaranteed that you can make 2 7 dice attacks with a chance at a throw on both of them, and you may get another throw.
Yep.
It's very common with Immortal Hulk. Like, you're down a tactics card, but it's very common to do 14 dice of attacks and have 3 throws. Like, it's not uncommon at all.
Right. Okay. That is our discussion on Blade's card. I think that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the ultimate card for the Midnight Suns while we're discussing this guy, specifically Siege of Darkness. Blade, I mean, this is the card that makes Midnight Suns work. I mean, they work now, I think, possibly without it, but why would you play them without bringing this card? What Siege of Darkness does is every character who is a Midnight Sun may spend 2 power, and then they may all make an attack with 0 cost. Anyone who spent power may make an attack with 0 cost right now, immediately. It is a gang up, it is an everyone attack card, and it's a very good one. So, I've used Wakanda Forever a lot because I used to play Wakanda, and even though Wakanda Forever is cheaper, I think that Siege of Darkness may be better because you're using it with characters like Blade and Immortal Hulk and
Wakanda
Khonshu.
Forever doesn't have a Hulk.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So what I mean, is there anything that needs to be said here? Like, it just is an amazing card. What do you think of... Oh, go ahead, Steven.
I'm sorry. There are nice tricks that you can do with it. I remember having a game against Brad one time, and he thought that he was a little bit safe from my Blade because he was out in La La Land. Moved Blade twice, and then I spent 2 power on all the people I could and did a Siege of Darkness, and then Blade got to attack. So, I mean, it's really, really versatile. If I were running Midnight Suns again, I would actually do a splash of like Mystique, or maybe even Emma Frost, and do it on their turn, so that nobody gets any reactions to my attacks from all my people. So,
yeah, that would be such a good idea. Huh. I never even thought about that little combination, but that would work, wouldn't it? During their turn, they don't get reactions, and you use it during their turn.
That's why Emma Frost is in my Spider Foes list.
For the surprise webhead.
Correct, yes.
That's clever. I'd never thought about that.
That was also what we talked about after the tournament. As far as like splashes, we were talking about splashes with Emma and stuff. Some fun things with Blade with Bump in the Night, Gwenom and Ghost Spider, where if they have been placed or advanced during their turn, they get like a free long move on their builders, and with Bump in the Night, you just turn that on immediately, so your action economy goes through the roof. Where you like bump, do a builder, get a free long move, do another builder, get a free long move. Like you get 2 free attacks or 2 free moves out of it, however you want to look at it. But I think that they might be a fun splash to look at as well.
Oh, you can't forget my boy Craven.
That's it.
Absolutely. Like the models that have the rule that if they've moved or been placed that round go great in Midnight Suns as splashes. I believe that when I played Midnight Suns, I had Ghost Spider in my roster for for multiple reasons, but this was one of the reasons.
And she can keep Blade safe as well, with the lifesaver.
Exactly. Okay, well, that's our discussion on Blade. I think that we owe him a letter grade. So I think that it's been brought up that Blade is a little fragile. I mean, he's not. He has good defensive tech and he has good defenses, but he also tends to die. That's just what happens because I think he is out in the fight and then he draws a lot of attention.
He gets
Um,
fixated on. He gets very fixated on.
He does. He gets fixated on. I think that his kit is good. It's not like game breakingly good, but it is good. It's a good kit, and he has maybe the best leadership in the game. And for that reason, I'm going to give him an A minus. I'm giving him an A minus. Brad, what are you going to give to Blade?
He is an S tier leadership on a, let's go with a B model, just regular B.
Oh, okay.
So he's a B.
He's a B.
He's
Okay.
a B. But his
I
leadership is S
for
tier.
some reason. You were breaking up quite badly for me for some reason. I couldn't hear you.
Well, I won't for the
he's
listeners.
grading
because we're
him.
recording
He's
on my-
grading minus his leadership is effectively what he's doing.
No,
Okay.
his leadership's part of that
Right.
B, but his leadership on its own is an S.
Okay.
So, for what you're saying is you're giving his leadership an S, but overall he's a B. So you're giving him as a character like a D. Is that how that averages out?
No,
and I don't. Yeah,
no,
that's how that
not
would average.
Nope.
That's-
I'm the math person. That's not how that works.
It's not how that averages.
No, because
I
you're
think you're trying to
you're
take a-
forgetting that the leadership is less weight than the character.
Yeah, it's a weighted average.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think the leadership is a heavier weight. What do you mean? The leadership is less of a weight? Like
He
the
gets
leadership is
played
the
without the
majority.
leadership. That's just one small part of his card.
That is by far the biggest part of his card. Brad's doing bad math, and the people deserve to know.
Well, other Brandon, what are you going to give him since you disagree so vociferously with Brad?
I think I agreed with what he originally said until he stuck to his B overall. I think he's an A character because I do think he has an S tier leadership, and I think he is outside of that like closer to like a B plus, and I think that averages out into the A range. The leadership has only gotten better. I do think it's probably part of why we don't get as many characters released in the affiliation because it could get really out of hand.
I don't. They had a release recently with 4 of the best, or I guess only 3 of the best models that have come out recently in the Monsters
Yeah.
box.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it like skyrocketed them in like playability and win percentage.
Yeah.
Like I think they're in a really good. I think the monsters are really good, and it's made it to where it's a lot harder to fixate on Blade. And if you're not fixating on Blade, Blade can do a lot. He's got a lot of movement shenanigans. He can give out conditions. He can deal a ton of damage, and he can keep himself alive when he's fighting one-on-one with a lot of things that are in his weight class.
Okay. All right. Well, Steven, what are you going to give to Blade as a letter grade?
I'm just at a B. Honestly.
A B. Okay.
Yeah.
And better Brandon, what are you going to give to Blade?
I'm usually overly generous with my ratings. Just I feel like every character has merits under the right player, like the right pilot playing the list. But like holistically looking at his card, he's got a lot of like extra movement in his throwing glaives, and Knight of the Dampier, he's got built-in like movement shenanigans with bump. He's got movement shenanigans. He's got healing. He's got defensive tech. So I would say for me, he's like an A plus. Like I know you don't like doing dual ratings. I think in Midnight Suns, he's probably your number one leader, which would bump him even further up in my eyes. But and also there's like a sub game. Like a lot of us have talked about, people really want to go after Blade, and that's a psychological thing that is part of the game. So if you can deny your opponent access to Blade, either by body blocking him out or keeping him at a distance from the threats that can take care of him, like energy attackers, you can win that psychological sub game that's underneath the actual game, and that can put people on tilt and throw off their gameplay as well. So I think Blade's got a lot going for him, and I would put him at an A+.
Okay.
I play a lot of bees in Midnight Suns, and I have started a lot more keeping Blade on like one of the home objectives, because if you're forcing people to come to him, he can get away if it's someone that he doesn't want to fight, and if he can be the 2 of the 2 and 1 fighting, if they have to move and attack him versus he gets to sit there and attack, he's mostly going to win those battles, and it feels pretty good.
Yeah, to what you had said, you mostly play bees. You mean crises that are laid out in the bee format.
Yeah. Any crisis that has closer to objectives on each side of the battlefield. So objectives that you have on your home side, they have on their home side. And that's not just bees anymore, I guess. There's a ton of different ones. But any of the ones where you can play a little bit closer to home, having range 4 and 3 attacks gives him a lot more playability in those and with a lot more threats in the affiliation, it makes it a lot easier to play those.
Yep. I'm with you on that. All right. Well, that is our take on Blade. Brad, do you have any comic book recommendations that feature Eric Brooks, brother of Garth?
Yes. In fact, I have his first appearance here, Tomb of Dracula number 10, also featuring his brother Garth. Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan. It's like colon, but it has an A instead of a second O. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, Gene, if you're listening. It seems very unlikely, right? Okay. So this, as I said, is the first appearance of Blade. And Blade ends up confronting Dracula. Is he finally the man skilled enough to end Dracula's reign of terror? I mean, the fact that Dracula's still in the comic books probably answers that question. But you can keep reading after this issue because Blade becomes just a regular cast member that's in like every issue and kind of becomes the main character. So lots of Tomb of Dracula. And then I have Blade series from 2023. This is by Brian Edward Hill and various artists. And Blade has to deal with his past while taking on the entire monstrous underground, including, of course, vampires. He has to travel to Japan to team up with his ex to get the job done. Blade fans seem to really like this series, so if you want to read a good Blade story, this is probably it. It's very funny. Brian Edward Hill has made stuff people have really enjoyed and has made one of the worst X-Men comics of all time.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Fallen Angels Volume 2. It was early in Krakoa. It's real bad.
Okay. All right. And is that it, Brad?
Yeah, that's it. I just have two.
Okay. The only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, Blade was played by Wesley Snipes. Watch White Men Can't Jump. It's with Woody Harrelson. It's really funny. It's good. All right. I want to talk about a movie that I watched recently, specifically today, that I want to shout to the heavens. And that is Project Hail Mary, the new movie starring Ryan Gosling and A Rock that is, it is like a new E.T., maybe? I'm saying that this movie is outstanding. I am already a fan of this book, I'm already a fan of this movie because I read the book and loved the book. It's written by Andy Weir, the same guy who wrote The Martian, and it is grounded in real science, and but it still takes some sci-fi twists and turns just to tell the story that it wants to tell. It is a heartwarming but also emotional epic that is worth the wait. It is such a good movie. I highly recommend that everyone out there watch this movie. This movie is worth watching. Yeah. Project Hail Mary. And that'll be it for our show today. I hope that everyone out there is having a good time. I want to say thank you to Brandon and to Brandon, both for joining us. And I want to say thank you to Steven and Brad for always being on the show. And thank you for listening out there. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of the week. Goodbye, everyone.